Hey guys, this is your girl LA from the Lock Salon. Well, as you can see, I'm not coming to you from the Lock Salon, but I'm coming to you from my second favorite place in my house. Actually, let me be honest. This is my first favorite place in my house, which is my bedroom. And my Lock Salon is the second favorite place, or it's definitely the second place that I spend the most time in my house. But, the Lock Salon is closed right now. It's a Sunday evening. I don't typically do hair on Sundays. Only occasionally if I'm fitting in a new client, or if I need to do some finagling with my schedule for one of my regular clients. I've done that maybe twice so far. But I try to avoid Sunday appointments because that's my relaxation day. And I've been doing a lot of relaxing on this 90-degree weather day here in Michigan. But a couple weeks ago, I had the wonderful opportunity of visiting my son where he's stationed in the United States Air Force in North Carolina. So I went to visit him for the first time since he's been there. And I also visited my grandson for the first time, who turned 7 months in this month, in June. In June, he turned 7 months. So I was like really excited to see my grandson, my new poo baby, for the first time. But while I was there, I checked out a new YouTube channel. Because as you can see, I am still building my channel. I thank everybody who is currently subscribed. I thank everybody who has liked my channel. If you shared it, really appreciate that. And please continue to do so. If you see things that you like, that you enjoy, if you have suggestions for other things that you may want to see, please, feel free to put things like that in a comment. I'm open to suggestions. And so while I was there, I jumped onto a YouTube channel because I wanted to see what other consultants, because like my channel is not really just about my personal Sisterlock journey. A lot of people's channels with Sisterlocks is about their journey. They're showing you styles and things like that. What I'm kind of aiming to show or talk about is like from the other side of the chair perspective, like being the consultant, being a home salon owner, having this side business, because I don't do Sisterlocks full time. It's a part-time thing that I'm doing, and I like it. Yeah, I do like it. I enjoy it, and it wound up being kind of like a surprise type of business. Like when I got Sisterlocks, if you listen to anything on my channel, you probably heard me mention that I never intended to be a Sisterlock consultant. Opportunity just came and things just kind of went in that direction. It kind of started from when I first took the class to learn how to retighten my own hair. And when I took that class, I really wasn't doing it because I wanted to do my own hair. I just knew of the person who was doing the class, and I just thought it was a good idea to learn how to do my own hair, because you just never know when you're going to come into a situation where you might need to do your own hair. Case in point, the pandemic of 2020. A lot of people, especially those who were early in their Sisterlock journeys, they cut their locks off. They cut their locks off because a lot of consultants were not taking clients. They shut everything down because that's what they were ordered to do. People were scared. So I totally get it. The person who I was going to at the time, she didn't shut her business down. We did wear masks during the appointments, but she kept moving business as usual. I appreciated that, but still it was during that time that my Sisterlock mentor did the class for retightening your own locks, so I took it. But again, I didn't know when or if I was ever going to do it. So back to my point, I kind of wanted to see what other people like me are posting to their channels like that, are not just talking about their own journeys. So I came across a young lady by the name of, well, I'll just tell you the name of her channel is the Microlocs Expert. And so she has had, and I'm looking down at my iPad to look at my notes that I made while I was watching the video. But she currently wears Microlocs, and I think she was a former Sisterlocks consultant, but she did used to wear Sisterlocks. But she actually was doing this video kind of saying, are you pro Sisterlocks, pro Microlocs, and giving her reasons why. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to kind of do a little response, being on the other side, because she was a pro Microlocs person, and she kind of listed her reasons why she was pro Microlocs, even though Sisterlocks are Microlocs, but it's patented. The Sisterlocks name is patented. The tools are patented. By the founder of Sisterlocks, and it's very, because we signed an agreement, about that trademark. It is very top secret, in terms of how we start locks, the different patterns that we use. We're not supposed to discuss that like with our clients in terms of the details. We can discuss it with each other as Sisterlocks consultants, with other trainers and mentors that we may have and things like that. But one of the things that she said in the video, she said that it's not community in the Sisterlocks world, that there's more of an openness in the Microlocs world in terms of helping people, to take care of their hair, to retighten their hair, certain products to use and things like that. So she said it wasn't much of that in the Sisterlocks community, but I disagree with that point, because I do feel that it's a very strong Sisterlocks consultant community, and there's also a strong community for Sisterlocks clients, So I'm in a couple of Sisterlocks groups, like in Michigan. I think we have one called Sisterlocks in Lebanon. There's Sisterlocks, like a specific Michigan group. So people are able to go in there, and talk about things they're doing to their hair. They may even talk about experiences that they're having with their consultants. And then on the consultant side, we're kind of talking about things from the business aspect, how to develop really good policies when dealing with your clients, when you're building your business, if you're in a shop, if you're in a home salon. So I would say there is community in the Sisterlocks world on both sides, as a client, as a consultant. The other thing that she mentioned in there was like, when she took the class to learn to retighten her hair when she had the Sisterlocks, she was like, they really didn't teach you much. They gave you the bare necessities. Take this tool, and it was not the same tool that we use to install locks, or that we use to like even retighten locks, on our Sisterlocks clients, which we're not supposed to use that tool, if we're doing Microlocs as well. We're not supposed to use our Sisterlocks tool. But so it's like things like these do's and don'ts that you have in the Sisterlocks world that do not exist in the Microlocs world. So I can definitely understand, from the perspective of, if I'm a client and I want to understand really what you're doing to my hair, talk to me, tell me, show me this tool, let me see it. And in the Sisterlocks world, it's like, no, we're not supposed to do that. That part of it, I don't really like. But I'll say, going back to when I learned how to retighten my hair, when I took that class, I walked out of there feeling like, okay, I can do this. But when I tried it, I was struggling, and I was scared, and I was messing up, because the tool that we use, I don't have it with me right now, but the tool that we use, it has this little hook, and it's actually called a clip tool. And when you use it, I remember my instructor saying, make sure, that hook part or the clip is turn downward. It was like the certain direction it needed to go in so that you didn't snag your hair. But the thing is, when you're putting your hair up and you're taking a lock and you're, fiddling with it, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on with that clip part, to make sure you're not snagging. But of course, when I first started, I was snagging my hair, I was combining locks, and I was like, okay, nope, I'm not doing this. So I politely put that tool away, and I proceeded to continue to go to the girl who was doing my hair. And it wasn't until maybe almost a year later, when I was transitioning from my corporate job at AT&T, and I was leaving that job because I was given a buyout opportunity, and it was coincidental that a Sisterlocks training class had opened up in my area. And so I said, you know what, I got the money, from this buyout, so I said, I'm going to go ahead and take this class, because I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I didn't know if I was going to jump into it and become successful in this business. So I took the class. I can't remember how long it was. It was not long at all. It was maybe like a weekend and a day. Considering how much money we spent on the class, it should have been longer. And I do think that rather than working with a mannequin, that we should have worked with live clients and really had just better hands-on training. But it wasn't until I took the class and actually learned how to create a lock and then how to use the official Sisterlocks tool for retightening. That's when it kind of clicked what I was supposed to do with my clip tool. So it was probably after I took that class in August of 2022, was maybe 4 to 5 months after that, when my consultant, when I told her that I took the class, and I've told this story before too, she suggested that I start retightening my own locks to build my speed or just to get used to doing it. Personally, I don't think that retightening my locks it was not helpful to me in retightening my clients when I eventually got some, because like I said, I took the class in 2022, August 2022. I don't think I had a transfer client maybe 6 months later, and that was just one. She didn't stick in. I didn't even get a chance to finish her whole retightening, because she had had 6 months worth of new growth, and I made the mistake of doing the front of her hair first. I mean, that's the way we're supposed to do it, but I guess when you're dealing with people that you don't know, thank goodness I had her pay me kind of as I was going, not waiting until we ended the session, because I finished kind of the top of her hair, but she wound up not coming back, for me to finish the back. So I guess she just decided, okay, I got the front looking good, so that's good enough. But so she was my first client, but didn't stay. Then I think I got another transfer client. So long story short, it was about a year and a half before I actually did my first establishment. And really what changed the game for me and getting my clientele was when I started working with my mentor. And I really love my mentor because, like I said, she was the person who taught the class on retightening the locks. And so she has a mentoring program. And it was really good. At first I was like, man, I already paid to take the class. Now I'm going to pay for this mentor program. But it was really set up nice. I was able to kind of shadow her when she did a consultation from the beginning to the end. When we did the establishment, I was there helping and observing. And then after we did the establishment, then I was able to come back to for the first follow-up after the establishment. So that was kind of the completion of the mentorship program. And And she's always available. Oh, and the other thing that she did, when I got my first client, part of the mentorship program, and everybody has their mentorship program differently. This is how hers is designed. But she allowed me to do my first client's hair at her house or in her home salon so that she could, make sure I was doing things correctly. So that was a godsend, because number one, when you're doing something like Sisterlocks or any type of hairstyle that's so permanent and it's your first time, it's really good to have somebody there to walk you through it, because you're going to be a ball of nerves, and just having somebody there to look over your shoulder, correct anything that you're doing incorrectly, or just encourage you where you're doing well. It was very helpful, and she was a godsend. She continues to be a godsend to me, because even after, she was the reason that I got my first client, because even though my name was on the Sisterlocks registry as a trainee, people don't typically want to deal with trainees. They want to deal with a certified Sisterlocks consultant. So I wasn't really getting calls from the website. So what she did for me, because I continued to stay in touch with her, was that when she got a client that wanted an establishment and she was kind of filled up, she referred them to me, and the person, was she was okay with me doing her establishment. So that was my first client, and that now has been a whole year ago. Her anniversary was like March 2024. Was it? No, March 2025 was her 1-year anniversary. So I had her. Then, like, all of a sudden, I got like back-to-back people. I had people asking me about Sisterlocks. One person that I worked with, she was saying that she wanted Sisterlocks and she was going to, check me out later. And then shortly after I get my first client, then she followed through and was like, yeah, I want to go move forward. And then one day I was working from home, working remote from my library job, and I went to this coffee shop to work. And while I'm standing in line, I saw this girl that had her hair 2-strand twisted, and I was like, oh, I'm like, your hair is really nice. I was complimenting her hair genuinely, because I love natural 2-strand twists, and she said, oh, thank you. And she was like, I like your hair. And she wanted to say she was interested in Sisterlocks. I gave her my number. I didn't really think she was going to call, but I still gave her my number, and she wound up calling me maybe like 2 weeks later. And even though it took maybe another 3 months or so before she and I actually connected and moved forward with her establishment, she was my 3rd client. So I'm still waiting to get one more, because my first client who's here, I think I did some of her locks a little bit too large outside of the parameters of what it's supposed to be for Sisterlocks. So I didn't submit her as my first client. I actually submitted my 2nd client as my first qualifying Sisterlocks client. And so now I'm at the level of like an approved trainee. And so I just have one more to do, and I actually have somebody on the list, to do a consultation with them, hopefully this summer. But anyway, all of that was just to say, it wasn't until I took the class that I really learned how to retighten my own hair. So now at this point, it's been almost 3 years that I've been retightening my hair. 2.5 years. 2.5, 3 years I've been retightening my hair. So when she said, when the girl, the Microlocs Expert, said in her video, that class did not teach me, like, I really didn't learn. And I was like, that's what actually made me want to do this, like, response video, because I was like, she is so on point there. The other thing I wanted to talk about, she also talked about, I believe, like the consultants and the strictness. With Sisterlocks, we're guided to do our retightens within a certain time frame. I think like 4 weeks is the minimum, and the maximum is 6 weeks. Now, of course, depending on how, your client's hair may grow, some people, I've heard of people doing 7 and 8 weeks, but I just recently talked to a Sisterlock client or a Sisterlock consultant in one of the groups that I'm in. She said she doesn't do anything outside of, I think she might allow a client to push her 6 week appointment to 7 weeks, but that's it. And even with that, you're getting charged extra. So Sisterlocks can get even more expensive than it already is, depending on your consultant, depending on what their policies are, what fees they may have, if you have to reschedule an appointment, if you get outside of whatever that schedule is that they have you on for your retightening, that could be an additional cost. Whatever you do to your hair, if you go and color your hair when you're not supposed to color your hair, or you're using products on your hair that's making your hair hard to work with, Sisterlock consultants, they are known to charge you for those things. Luckily, I haven't had to do that yet, but again, I'm still in the infancy of my Sisterlock business, so I only have 3 regular clients whose locks I established, and then I have a couple of people that kind of drop in, to get their retightening. So it's building, but I haven't really had to enforce, too many hard and fast rules in my policies. So, like, for example, like yesterday, Saturday, one of my clients was supposed to come. And, to get a reminder about your appointment, that's a courtesy. Because I know for myself, when I had an appointment with my consultant, I didn't need a reminder. I'm the one that want my hair done. I'm the one that scheduled the appointment. So I didn't need anybody to remind me. But, some people like reminders. So I just happened to say, you know what, let me make sure, she's coming tomorrow. And then she wound up saying, oh, I didn't realize it was tomorrow. I'm not available. I was a little irritated for a quick second, but I'm like, okay. I said, well, can you come next week? Because she has a lot of locks like mine because she's high density. So it takes me a while to do her hair. So I definitely don't want her going over. I have her on a 5-week schedule. I really don't want her to go more than that. I don't want her to get comfortable being more than 5 weeks because at my last appointment time with her, I think it was 7 hours to do her hair. And I was really looking forward to working with her this weekend because I want to try to increase my speeds. I want to get her to about 6 hours or less. But I'm telling you, it's a lot. I don't be going slow when I do my clients' hair. I really am trying to get it done. But this is a young lady. She does need frequent breaks. And she's young too, but I hasten it to taking care of your body. So she likes to stand up and stretch and do stuff like that. So those type of things do kind of interrupt our time together. So I think that also contributes to it being like closer to 7 hours when I might be able to get it to 6 hours if we just went straight through. But ideally, I would like to be able to do my client's hair in about 4 to 5 hours max. But yeah, so I really liked the Microlocs Expert. I loved her video that she did. And so I just wanted to, I will link the video. I just wanted to do a little response. So just as a recap, I disagree with the fact that there's not community in the Sisterlock world. It's just a different kind of community. And then I also agree with her point, about the top secretness when it comes to what your Sisterlock consultant can and cannot disclose to you, and the rigidness, about like what products and things like that. Some people, after so long, once your locks have gotten all settled in and they're not going anywhere, I think it's okay to use different products. But as Sisterlock consultants, we are going to, and we are supposed to encourage you to use Sisterlocks products. But of course, if you use them and you don't like it, you know, I'm not going to charge you if you use some other shampoo. Because I know one client I had a couple weeks ago, she used, I think it was like this tea tree shampoo. Her hair felt so soft. And I was like, ooh, I like that. It was a conditioner. Now, that's one thing I don't do to my hair very often. I just wash my hair. I have some head and shoulders, in fact, because I have dandruff sometimes, and it can get inflamed sometimes. Excuse me. So when that happens, I use my dandruff shampoo. But I loved how her hair felt in my hands, and it also smelled very good. So I think she said it was a conditioner. Yeah, was it a tea tree? Oh, I'm gonna have to look at. I had her send it to me, or she showed it to me, but I'm gonna try that. So yes, so that's all I have. So this is probably the longest video I've posted in a while. But if you have anything to say, comments like regarding the whole Sisterlocks, Microlocs debate, feel free to put your thoughts and comments in the chat. And again, anything that you'd like to talk about on this channel, I'm open to suggestions. So I've been really killing it with my shorts, but I don't want to make this any longer than it has to be. So until the next video, I hope wherever you are in the world that is hot, that it's warm, but it's comfortable for you if you enjoy summertime weather. So I'm enjoying it because here in Michigan, we don't have it long enough. So when it comes, I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to put on something like this and be cool. And like, I'm in my bedroom, so my air condition doesn't cool off my bedroom as much as it does the rest of the house. So I got my little fan sitting over here just to cool me off a little bit more. So anyway, that's it for now. Please like, subscribe, share the channel. I would really like to grow this channel and really create a community for my Sisterlocks consultants. So I'll be looking for other videos, I'll be looking for other videos from YouTubers who are home salon owners, Sisterlocks consultants in Michigan or out of Michigan. So hit me up, drop any names or anything in the chat if you got channels that you follow, so I can check them out. Because even though I'm a YouTuber, I'm not a YouTuber. Like, I don't spend a whole lot of time watching YouTube videos. I'm subscribed to so many channels. Gosh, when I was wearing my loose natural hair, and then when I had traditional locks, I had a whole bunch of videos because I was definitely trying to find hairstyles and stuff. But, you know, now that I have Sisterlocks, I really don't care that much about styling my hair. So, but yeah, so if you got some video recommendations or channel recommendations, please send them my way.